Life is a magnificent adventure filled with endless possibilities and countless opportunities for growth. But in this vast landscape of experiences, there's one crucial element that determines the quality of our journey, our focus. Today, we're going to talk about a principle that has the power to transform your life, to elevate your experiences, and to bring you a sense of peace and fulfillment that you may have never thought possible. This principle is simple, yet profoundly powerful. Stay focused only on what you can. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but how exactly do I do that? Well, my friends, that's precisely what we're going to explore together. We're going to unpack this concept, examine its implications, and most importantly, learn how to apply it in our daily lives. Because let me tell you, when you truly grasp and implement this principle, you'll find yourself living with greater purpose, experiencing less stress, and achieving more than you ever thought possible. Let's start by considering a fundamental truth. In this vast universe, there are countless factors that influence our lives. Some of these factors are within our control, while others are not. The weather, other people's opinions, global events, the past, these are all examples of things we cannot control. Yet, how often do we find ourselves worrying about these very things? How much of our precious time and energy do we waste fretting over circumstances that are entirely beyond our influence? On the flip side, there are aspects of our lives that we can control. Our thoughts, our actions, our responses to situations, our habits, our attitudes, these are all within our power to shape and direct. And here's the kickers. It's these controllable factors that have the most significant impact on our lives and our happiness. When we focus our energy on what we can control, we become empowered. We move from a position of helplessness to one of strength. We shift from being passive observers of our lives to active creators of our destiny. This shift in focus is not just a mental exercise, it's a complete paradigm change that can revolutionize every aspect of your existence. Think about it. When you're stuck in traffic, getting frustrated about the slow-moving cars around you doesn't change the situation. But focusing on what you can control, perhaps using that time to listen to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or plan your day, can transform a potentially stressful situation into a productive or even enjoyable one. Or consider a more significant life challenge, like losing a job. You can't control the company's decision to let you go, but you can control your response. You can choose to view it as an opportunity for growth, a chance to explore new career paths, or a nudge to finally start that business you've been dreaming about. By focusing on what you can control, your attitude, your actions, your next steps, you turn a setback into a stepping stone. This principle of focusing on what we can control is not about ignoring reality or pretending that external factors don't affect us. It's about recognizing where our power lies and channeling our energy most effectively. It's about understanding that while we can't always choose our circumstances, we can always choose our response to those circumstances. Now, I want you to take a moment and reflect on your own life. Think about the things that worry you, the things that stress you out. How many of these are actually within your control? And of those that aren't, how much energy are you expending on them? This awareness is the first step towards change. As we continue to explore this principle, I want to share with you some practical strategies for implementing it in your daily life. These aren't just theoretical concepts. These are tools that you can start using right away to shift your focus and transform your experience. The first strategy is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present in the moment, aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When you're mindful, you're better able to recognize when your thoughts are drifting towards things you can't control. You can then gently guide your focus back to the present moment, to the things you can influence. Start by setting aside a few minutes each day for mindfulness practice. This could be as simple as sitting quietly and focusing on your breath. As thoughts come up, and they will, simply notice them without getting caught up in them, and then return your attention to your breath. Over time, this practice will strengthen your ability to stay focused on what's within your control, even in challenging situations. The second strategy is to regularly ask yourself empowering questions. Our minds are incredibly powerful, And the questions we ask ourselves shape our focus and our reality. Instead of asking disempowering questions like, why does this always happen to me? Or what if everything goes wrong? Try asking questions that direct your focus towards what you can control. What faced with a challenge? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? What actions can I take to improve things? How can I use this experience to grow? These questions shift your focus from victimhood to empowerment, from helplessness to act. The third strategy is to create a sphere of influence diagram. Draw a circle, and inside it, list all the things in your life that you have direct control over. This might include your thoughts, your actions, your habits, your responses, your attitude. Outside the circle, list the things you can influence but not directly control. Perhaps your relationships, your work environment, your community. Finally, outside of that, list the things that are completely outside your control. The weather, the economy, other people's opinions. This visual representation can be a powerful reminder of where to focus your energy. Whenever you find yourself getting caught up in worry or stress, refer back to this diagram. Are you focusing on something inside your sphere of control or influence? If not, gently guide your attention back to what you can do right here, right now. The fourth strategy is to practice acceptance. This doesn't mean resignation or giving up. Rather, it's about acknowledging reality as it is without resistance. When we resist what is, we create suffering for ourselves. But when we accept things as they are, we free up enormous amounts of energy that we can then channel into positive action. The next time you find yourself in a situation you can't control, try saying to yourself, this is how things are right now, and that's okay. Feel the shift that happens when you stop fighting against reality and instead accept it. From this place of acceptance, you can then ask yourself, given that this is the situation, what can I do? What's within my control? The fifth strategy is to cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful force that can shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, from what's wrong to what's right. And here's the beautiful thing about gratitude. It's always within our control. No matter what's happening in our lives or in the world around us, we always have the power to choose gratitude. Start a daily gratitude practice. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or a beautiful sunset. As you do this consistently, you'll find your focus naturally shifting towards the positive aspects of your life, the things you can appreciate and influence. The sixth strategy is to set clear, achievable goals. When we have clear goals, we give our mind something positive and constructive to focus on. Make sure your goals are things that are within your control to achieve. Instead of setting a goal like get promoted at work, which ultimately depends on others' decisions, set a goal like improve my skills and consistently deliver high-quality work. The former is outside your control, while the latter is entirely within your. Break your goals down into small, manageable steps. This allows you to maintain focus on what you can do today, this week, this month to move towards your larger objectives. Celebrate each small victory along the way. This reinforces your focus on what you can control and builds momentum. The seventh strategy is to practice forgiveness. Holding on to resentment or anger towards others for past events is a surefire way to keep your focus stuck on things you can't control. You can't change what happened in the past, but you can control how you respond to it now. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful actions or forgetting what happened. It means choosing to release the negative emotions associated with the event for your own peace of mind. When you forgive, you free yourself from the burden of past hurts and open yourself up to focus on creating a positive present and future. The eighth strategy is to develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset, as opposed to a fixed mindset, is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. When you have a growth mindset, you focus on what you can do to improve and grow rather than on fixed traits or circumstances you can't. Cultivate a growth mindset by embracing challenges as opportunities to learn, viewing effort as the path to mastery, learning from criticism, and finding lessons and inspiration in the success of others. This mindset keeps your focus squarely on what you can control, your own growth and development. The ninth strategy is to practice self-compassion. We often waste enormous amounts of energy beating ourselves up over mistakes or perceived shortcomings. But this self-criticism focuses on the past, something we can't control, and drains us of the energy we need to make positive changes in the present. Instead, practice treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. When you make a mistake, instead of harsh self-criticism, try saying to yourself, this is a moment of difficulty. Difficulty is a part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment. This self-compassion allows you to learn from mistakes without getting stuck in negative self-talk, keeping your focus on what you can do to move forward. The 10th strategy is to regularly audit your time and energy expenditure. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, but how we use that time can vary dramatically. Take some time to track how you're spending your hours and your energy. Are you investing them in areas you can control and influence, or are you wasting them on worry, complaint, or fruitless attempts to change things beyond your power? This audit can be eye-opening. You might discover that you're spending hours each week worrying about potential future scenarios, scrolling through social media, comparing yourself to others, or trying to change people who aren't interested in changing. Once you're aware of these patterns, you can make conscious choices to redirect your time and energy towards more productive, controllable areas of your life. The 11th strategy is to cultivate resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to adapt in the face of adversity. When you're resilient, you're better able to maintain focus on what you can control even when faced with. Build resilience by taking care of your physical health through regular exercise, good nutrition, and adequate sleep. Nurture supportive relationships. Having a strong support network can help you weather life's storms. Practice problem-solving skills by breaking challenges down into manageable steps. And perhaps most importantly, maintain perspective. Remind yourself that this too shall pass and that you have the strength to get through difficult times. The 12th strategy is to practice detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold or uncaring. Rather, it's about not allowing your happiness and peace of mind to be entirely dependent on external circumstances or outcomes. When you practice detachment, you can care deeply about things while still maintaining your equanimity if things don't go as planned. For example, you might pour your heart and soul into a project at work. You do your absolute best, focusing on all the aspects within your control. But if the project doesn't succeed for reasons outside your influence, detachment allows you to accept this without it devastating you. You can acknowledge disappointment while still maintaining your sense of self-worth and your ability to move forward positively. The 13th strategy is to cultivate curiosity. Curiosity is a powerful tool for keeping our focus on what we can control. When we're curious, we're naturally drawn to exploring, learning, and understanding. This orientation towards growth and discovery keeps us engaged with the aspects of life we can influence. When faced with a challenging situation, instead of immediately reacting with stress or worry, try approaching it with curiosity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this help me grow? What possibilities might this open up that I haven't considered before? This curious approach keeps your focus on the opportunities within your control rather than the obstacles beyond your influence. The 14th strategy is to practice present moment awareness. The present moment is the only time we ever have any real control. The past is gone, and the future hasn't arrived yet. By continually bringing our attention back to the present moment, we naturally align our focus with. You can cultivate present moment awareness through simple practices like mindful breathing, body scans, or even just paying full attention to routine activities like washing dishes or walking. When you notice your mind wandering to worries about the future or regrets about the past, gently guide it back to the present moment. What can you do right here, right now? The 15th strategy is to reframe challenges as opportunities. This is more than just positive thinking. It's about actively looking for the ways in which difficult situations can serve our growth and development. When we view challenges this way, we naturally focus on what we can control, our response and our potential for growth. For instance, if you lose your job, instead of dwelling on the unfairness, of the situation which you can't control. You might ask yourself, how can I use this time to develop new skills? How might this push me to explore career paths I've always been curious about but never pursued? What strengths am I developing by navigating this challenging situation? The 16th strategy is to practice letting go. Many of us expend enormous amounts of energy trying to control things that are simply beyond our influence. Learning to let go of this need for control can be incredibly liberating, allowing us to redirect our energy towards the things we can actually impact. Start small. The next time you find yourself stuck in a traffic jam, practice letting go of your frustration and need to control the situation. Accept that this is the current reality. Let go of your resistance to it and choose to use the time in a way that serves you, perhaps listening to an audiobook or practicing deep breathing. The 17th strategy is to develop a personal mission statement. A mission statement articulates your core values and what you want to stand for in life. It provides a North Star, guiding your focus towards what truly matters to you and what you can control, your own actions and character. Spend some time reflecting on your values and what kind of person you want to be. Write a concise statement that captures this essence. For example, to live with integrity, continually grow and learn, and make a positive difference in the lives of others. Refer back to this statement regularly, especially when faced with difficult decisions or challenging circumstances. It will help you maintain focus on what you can control, your own choices and actions. The 18th strategy is to practice cognitive reframing. This involves consciously changing the way you think about a situation. When you find yourself focused on things you can't control, practice reframing your thoughts to focus on what you can influence. For example, if you're worried about an upcoming presentation at work, you might be thinking, what if I mess up and everyone thinks I'm incompetent? This focuses on things you can't control, other people's thoughts and potential future scenarios. Instead, try reframing this to, I'm going to prepare thoroughly and do my best. This is an opportunity to share my ideas and improve my public speaking skills. This reframe focuses your attention on what you can control, your preparation and your attitude. The 19th strategy is to cultivate a sense of personal responsibility. This doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that happens in your life. Rather, it's about recognizing that while you can't control every circumstance, you are responsible for your responses to those circumstances. When something goes wrong, instead of looking for someone or something to blame which focuses on things outside your control, ask yourself, what's my responsibility in this situation? What can I do to improve things? This keeps your focus on your own actions and choices, the things you can control. The 20th strategy is to practice mindful consumption of information. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with information, news, social media, advertisements. Much of this information focuses on things we can't control, and consuming too much of it can leave us feeling overwhelmed and helpless. Be intentional about what information you consume and how much time you spend consuming it. Limit your exposure to news and social media if you find they're causing you undue stress about things you can't control. Instead, seek out information that empowers you, that teaches you new skills or provides insights you can apply in your life. The 21st strategy is to develop a personal growth plan. This involves setting intentions for your own development in various areas of your life, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, professional. By focusing on your own growth, you naturally direct your attention towards what you can control. Create a plan that outlines specific areas you want to develop and concrete steps you can take to grow in these areas. For example, you might set a goal to improve your emotional intelligence by reading books on the subject, practicing mindfulness, and seeking feedback from others. Regularly review and update this plan, celebrating your progress and adjusting your goals as needed. The 22nd strategy is to practice radical acceptance. This goes a step beyond the acceptance we discussed earlier. Radical acceptance involves fully accepting reality as it is, without resistance, even when that reality is painful or difficult. This doesn't mean you like the situation or agree with it. It simply means you stop fighting against the reality of what is. From this place of acceptance, you can then choose how to respond. Radical acceptance frees up the energy you might have spent fighting against reality, allowing you to focus on what you can actually do to improve your situation. The 23rd strategy is to cultivate self-awareness. Self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth and effective action. When you're self-aware, you're better able to recognize your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This awareness allows you to catch yourself when you're focusing on things outside your control and consciously redirect your attention. Develop self-awareness through practices like journaling, meditation, or seeking feedback from others. Pay attention to your internal dialogue, your emotional reactions, and your habitual behaviors. The more you understand yourself, the better equipped you'll be to focus your energy effectively. The 24th strategy is to practice the art of reframing questions. The questions we ask ourselves shape our focus and our reality. When you find yourself asking disempowering questions that focus on things you can't control, practice reframing them into empowering questions that direct your attention to what you can influence. For example, instead of asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this situation?" Instead of, "What if everything goes wrong?" Ask, "What steps can I take to prepare and do my best?" This simple shift in questioning can dramatically alter your focus and your approach to challenges. The 25th strategy is to develop a personal philosophy of life. This goes beyond a mission statement to encompass your beliefs about the nature of reality, the meaning of life, and your place in the world. When you have a coherent personal philosophy, it provides a framework for understanding and responding to life's challenges in a way that aligns with your deepest values and beliefs. Spend time reflecting on your beliefs and values. Read philosophy, psychology, and spiritual texts that resonate with you. Gradually develop a philosophy that gives your life meaning and helps you maintain perspective on what you can and can't control. The 26th strategy is to practice the Stoic technique of negative visualization. This involves periodically imagining losing the things you value: your health, your job, your relationships. While this might sound depressing, it actually serves to increase gratitude for what you have and helps you focus on making the most of your current circumstances, things that are within your control. This practice also helps build resilience by mentally preparing you for potential setbacks. When you've already imagined losing something, you're better equipped to handle it if it actually happens, allowing you to focus on your response rather than getting caught up in shock or denial. The 27th strategy is to cultivate a sense of awe and wonder. When we're caught up in the minutiae of daily life, it's easy to lose perspective and focus on trivial things we can't control. Regularly experiencing awe, whether through nature, art, science, or human achievement, can help us maintain a broader perspective. Make time to expose yourself to awe-inspiring experiences. This could be as simple as stargazing, watching a sunrise, or learning about the vastness of the universe or the intricacies of cellular biology. The sense of awe reminds us of our place in the grand scheme of things, often making our personal worries seem less significant and helping us focus on what truly matters. The 28th strategy is to practice voluntary discomfort. This involves intentionally putting yourself in mildly uncomfortable situations, taking a cold shower, fasting for a day, or sleeping on the floor. This practice builds mental toughness and reminds you that you can handle discomfort, which in turn helps you stay focused and effective when facing challenges you can't control. Voluntary discomfort also helps break the habit of constantly seeking comfort, which can lead us to avoid necessary but difficult actions that are within our control. By getting comfortable with discomfort, you expand your capacity to take effective action even when circumstances aren't ideal. The 29th strategy is to develop a growth-oriented relationship with failure. Many of us waste enormous amounts of energy trying to avoid failure or beating ourselves up when we do fail. But failure is an inevitable part of life and often our greatest teacher. By reframing failure as a necessary step in the learning process, we can focus on what we can control, our response to failure and what we learn from it. When you fail at something, instead of dwelling on the failure itself, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow and improve? This keeps your focus on the aspects of failure that are within your control and helps you use setback as stepping stones to success. The 30th strategy is to practice mindful speech. The words we speak have a powerful influence on our focus and our reality. By being more intentional about our speech, we can guide our focus towards what we can control and influence. Pay attention to the words you use. Are you constantly complaining about things you can't change? Are you speaking in ways that empower you or disempower you? Practice using language that focuses on possibilities, learning, and action rather than problems, limitations, and blame. The 31st strategy is to cultivate emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence involves the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions, as well as to recognize, understand, and influence the emotions of others. When we have high emotional intelligence, we're better able to maintain our focus on what we can control, even in emotionally charged situations. Develop emotional intelligence by practicing self-awareness, learning to regulate your emotions, developing empathy for others, and improving your social skills. This will help you respond more effectively to challenging situations and maintain your focus on what you can influence. The 32nd strategy is to practice the art of single tasking. In our multitasking world, we often spread our focus thin, trying to control multiple things at once. But research shows that multitasking is largely an illusion. We're actually just switching rapidly between tasks, which reduces our effectiveness and increases. Instead, practice giving your full attention to one task at a time. When you're working, work. When you're eating, eat. When you're with loved ones, be fully present with them. This single-tasking approach allows you to be more effective and present, naturally aligning your focus with what you can control in each moment. The 33rd strategy is to develop a personal definition of success. Often, we allow society's definition of success to dictate our focus, leading us to chase things that may not truly matter to us or that are largely outside our control. By developing our own definition of success, based on our values and what's within our control, we can align our focus more effectively, reflect on what truly matters to you. What would make you feel successful at the end of your life? Is it the quality of your relationships, the impact you've had on others, the personal growth you've achieved? Use these reflections to create a personal definition of success that focuses on what you can control, your own actions, attitudes, and character. The 34th strategy is to practice the art of savoring. Savoring involves fully enjoying and appreciating positive experiences. When we savor, we naturally bring our focus to the present moment and to the aspects of our experience that we can control, our attention and our appreciation. Make a habit of savoring simple pleasures, a delicious meal, a beautiful sunset, a moment of connection with a loved one. This practice not only increases happiness and life satisfaction, but also helps train your mind to focus on the positive aspects of your experience that are within your control. The 35th strategy is to develop a personal stress management toolkit. Stress often arises when we feel we're losing control of a situation. By having a set of tools to manage stress, you can maintain your equilibrium and keep your focus on what you can control, even in challenging circumstances. Your toolkit might include deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, mindfulness meditation, physical exercise, or engaging in a hobby you enjoy. Experiment with different techniques and assemble a set of tools that work for you. Then make a habit of using these tools regularly, not just when you're feeling stressed. The 36th strategy is to practice the art of detachment from outcomes. While it's natural to hope for certain outcomes, attaching our happiness or sense of self-worth to specific results can lead to a lot of unnecessary suffering. By practicing detachment from outcomes, we can focus more fully on what we can control, our own efforts and actions. This doesn't mean not caring about results. It means giving your best effort while accepting that the final outcome is not entirely within your control. It means finding satisfaction in knowing you've done your best, regardless of how things turn out. The 37th strategy is to cultivate a sense of purpose. Having a clear sense of purpose provides a powerful focal point for our energy and attention when we're connected to a larger purpose. It's easier to maintain perspective on what we can and can't control, and to focus our efforts where they can have the most impact. Reflect on what gives your life meaning. What impact do you want to have on the world? How can you use your unique gifts and talents in service of something larger than yourself? Let this sense of purpose guide your decisions and actions, keeping your focus on what truly matters and what you can influence. The 38th strategy is to practice the art of reframing challenges as games or experiments. When we view challenges as threats, we often become stressed and reactive, losing sight of what we can control. But if we reframe these challenges as games to be played or experiments to learn from, we can maintain a more constructive. The next time you face a difficult situation, try asking yourself, if this were a game, how would I play it? What strategies could I try? What skills could I develop? Or if this were an experiment, what hypothesis could I test? What could I learn from this? This playful, curious approach keeps your focus on what you can do and learn rather than on the aspects of the situation you can't control. The 39th strategy is to develop a practice of regular self-reflection. Without regular reflection, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of daily life and lose sight of what's truly important and what we can actually influence. By setting aside time for self-reflection, we can continually refocus our attention and energy. Set aside time each day, week, or month for self-reflection. During this time, ask yourself questions like, am I focusing my energy on things I can control? What's working well in my life? What could I improve? Am I living in alignment with my values and priorities? Use these reflections to make conscious choices about where to direct your focus and energy. The 40th strategy is to practice the art of mental contrasting. This involves vividly imagining a desired future, then contrasting it with the current reality, including the obstacles that stand in the way. This practice helps maintain a balance between optimism about what's possible and realism about the challenges involved. Mental contrasting keeps your focus on both your goals and the actions you can take to overcome obstacles. It helps you stay motivated while also preparing you to face challenges, naturally directing your attention to what you can control, your own efforts and problem-solving skills. The 41st strategy is to cultivate a practice of forgiveness, not just of others, but of yourself. Holding on to resentment, whether towards others or yourself, keeps your focus stuck in the past, something you can't control. Forgiveness frees up this energy, allowing you to focus on the present and future, areas where you can have an impact. Make a habit of regularly forgiving others for small slights and annoyances. Practice self-forgiveness when you make mistakes or fall short of your own expectations. Remember, forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful actions or forgetting what happened. It means choosing to release the negative emotions associated with the event, freeing yourself to focus on moving forward positively. The 42nd strategy is to develop a growth mindset about your ability to focus. Many people believe that the ability to focus is a fixed trait. You either have it or you don't. But research shows that focus, like any skill, can be developed and strengthened with practice. Approach your efforts to improve your focus as a journey of growth and learning. Celebrate small improvements, learn from setbacks, and maintain patience with yourself. Remember, the very act of working to improve your focus is itself an exercise in focusing on what you can control. The 43rd strategy is to practice the art of micro-commitments. Often, we get overwhelmed when thinking about big goals or changes we want to make, leading us to focus on all the potential obstacles and things that could go wrong, many of which are outside our control. By breaking things down into tiny, easily achievable commitments, we bring our focus back to what we can do right now, instead of saying, I'm going to get in shape, which can feel overwhelming. Commit to doing one push-up today. Instead of, I'm going to write a book, commit to writing one sentence. These micro-commitments are so small that they're almost impossible to fail at, which builds momentum and confidence, keeping your focus on the small, controllable actions you can take each day. The 44th strategy is to cultivate a sense of humor about life's challenges. A well-developed sense of humor can be a powerful tool for maintaining perspective and focus. When we can laugh at our struggles and setbacks, we're less likely to get bogged down in stress and anxiety about things we can't control. Practice finding the humor in difficult situations. This doesn't mean making light of serious problems, but rather finding ways to laugh at the absurdities and ironies of life. This humor can provide a moment of detachment, allowing you to then refocus on what you can actually do to improve the situation. The 45th strategy is to develop a personal mission statement. A mission statement articulates your core values and what you want to stand for in life. It provides a North Star, guiding your focus towards what truly matters to you and what you can control, your own actions and character. Spend some time reflecting on your values and what kind of person you want to be. Write a concise statement that captures this essence. For example, to live with integrity, continually grow and learn, and make a positive difference in the lives of others. Revert back to this statement regularly, especially when faced with difficult decisions or challenging circumstances. It will help you maintain focus on what you can control, your own choices and actions. The 46th strategy is to practice the art of reframing your self-talk. The way we talk to ourselves has a profound impact on our focus and our actions. Often, our self-talk focuses on limitations, fears, and things outside our control. By consciously reframing this internal dialogue, we can shift our focus to what we can influence. Pay attention to your self-talk. When you catch yourself thinking in ways that focus on things you can't control, practice reframing these thoughts. For example, instead of "I'm not good enough," try "I'm learning and improving every day." Instead of "this always happens to me," try "what can I learn from this situation?" The 47th strategy is to cultivate a practice of mindful goal setting. Often, we set goals that are partially or entirely outside our control, which can lead to frustration and a sense of helplessness when things don't go as planned. By setting goals that focus on what we can control, our own actions and attitudes, we set ourselves up for success and maintain a more empowering focus. When setting goals, ask yourself, is this entirely within my control? If not, for example, instead of setting a goal to get promoted, which depends on factors outside your control, you might set a goal to consistently perform at a high level and actively seek opportunities for growth and responsibility. This keeps your focus on what you can actually do. The 48th strategy is to practice the art of mental rehearsal. Athletes often use this technique to prepare for competitions, but it can be applied to any area of life. Mental rehearsal involves vividly imagining yourself successfully navigating a challenging situation or performing a difficult task. This practice helps in several ways. It allows you to mentally prepare for potential obstacles, increases your confidence, and helps you focus on the aspects of the situation you can control, your own actions and responses. Regular mental rehearsal can help you stay focused and perform better when facing real-life challenges. The 49th strategy is to develop a personal philosophy of failure. Our fear of failure often keeps us focused on things we can't control. Other people's judgments, unpredictable outcomes, potential setbacks. By developing a constructive philosophy of failure, we can shift our focus to what we can control, our own efforts, learning, and growth. Reflect on what failure means to you. Can you redefine it as a necessary step in the learning process rather than a final judgment of your worth? Can you see it as feedback rather than a setback? Developing a growth-oriented relationship with failure allows you to take more risks, learn more quickly, and maintain your focus on what you can control even when things don't go as planned. The 50th strategy is to practice the art of selective ignorance. In our information-saturated world, it's easy to get overwhelmed by news, social media, and the opinions of others. Much of this information focuses on things we can't control and can leave us feeling anxious and helpless. Be intentional about what information you consume. Ask yourself, does this information help me take constructive action in my life? Does it align with my values and goals? If not, consider limiting your exposure to it. This doesn't mean ignoring important issues, but rather being selective about where you direct your attention, focusing on information that empowers you to take positive action. As we near the end of our exploration of these strategies, I want to emphasize that focusing on what you can control is not about ignoring the reality of the world around you. It's not about pretending that external factors don't affect your life. Rather, it's about recognizing where your power lies and channeling your energy most effectively. It's about understanding that while you can't always choose your circumstances, you can always choose your response to those circumstances. It's about recognizing that your thoughts, your actions, your attitudes, these are the true sources of your power and influence in the world. Implementing these strategies isn't about achieving perfection. It's about progress, about gradually shifting your focus and your energy towards what you can influence and control. It's a lifelong journey of growth and learning. As you begin to implement these strategies in your life, you'll likely notice some immediate changes. You might feel a sense of relief as you let go of trying to control things that are beyond your influence. You might feel more empowered as you channel your energy into actions that can make a real difference. But the most profound changes will come over time. As you consistently practice focusing on what you can control, you'll likely find that you're more resilient in the face of challenges, more effective in your actions, and more at peace with yourself and the world around you. You'll start to see opportunities where you once saw only obstacles. You'll find yourself taking more initiative and less time complaining. You'll become more proactive and less reactive. And perhaps most importantly, you'll develop a deep sense of personal power. Not the power to control the world around you, but the power to control your own responses, your own growth, your own life. This journey of focusing on what you can control is not always easy. There will be times when you slip back into old patterns of thinking and behaving. There will be times when external circumstances feel overwhelming and you struggle to maintain your focus. This is normal and to be expected. In these moments, be gentle with yourself. Remember that this is a practice, a skill that you're developing over time. Each time you notice yourself focusing on things outside your control, each time you consciously shift your attention back to what you can influence. You're strengthening this skill. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're all working on this in our own ways. Seek out others who are on a similar path. Share your experiences, your challenges, and your victories. Support each other in maintaining this empowering focus. As we come to the close of our time together, I want to leave you with a final thought. Imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you consistently focused your energy on what you can control. Imagine the sense of peace that comes from letting go of trying to change things that are beyond your influence. Imagine the sense of empowerment that comes from channeling your energy into actions that can make a real difference. This life is available to you. It's not about changing the world around you. It's about changing your relationship with the world. It's about recognizing where your true power lies and living from that place of power. I challenge you, starting today, make a commitment to focus on what you can control. Start small. Choose one area of your life where you've been expending energy on things outside your control and consciously shift your focus to what you can influence. Notice the difference this makes in your emotions, in your actions, in your results. And then bit by bit, day by day, expand this practice to other areas of your life. Watch as your sense of personal power grows. Watch as you become more effective, more at peace, more alive. Remember, you have the power to shape your experience of life, not by controlling everything around you, but by controlling your responses, your focus, your actions. This is your true power. Embrace it. Live from it. And watch as it transforms your life. You have within you everything you need to live a life of purpose, power, and peace. The key is to focus on what you can control. This is your journey. This is your life. Make it extraordinary by focusing on what truly matters, the things you can influence. And thank you for your attention and engagement. May you go forth with a renewed sense of focus, purpose, and personal power. Remember, your greatest power lies not in controlling the world around you, but in controlling your responses to that world. Embrace this power and let it guide you to a life of meaning, fulfillment, and positive impact.